Daniel, you talk about numbers and you see them in a different way. And you say we can see somebody's divine mission through these numbers. Can you talk to us more about that?
Yes, when we're born, we choose our family, we choose our name. Believe it or not, we somehow, it's all accurate. It works out that our name, the numbers in our letters and numbers in our name reveal our destiny, our soul path, why we came to earth, our lessons we've missed, our karmic lessons. Um, so it's just looking at the person's birth chart, their name they came in with, and that's the numerology. So numerology works by adding up the numbers and letters, and you can reveal your life path, your personality, soul path, karmic lessons, why you came to earth. Of course, within all of that, we have free will, right? So
And true.
this is a roadmap for people to help them remember why they came to earth, what their lessons, mission, purpose is. The life path in numerology is similar to the sun sign in astrology. So it's a guidance, a map that guides you towards your self fulfilling, self-prophesized lessons and purpose for being here.
Yeah. Do you link astrology with it at all?
I use North Node astrology. I find Jan Spiller's work to be amazing, and her book Soul Path Awakening, I think it's called. She focuses on the North Node, so I do use the North Node
Okay.
because the South Node's where we came from. The North Node's where we're going to. The
Okay.
North Node is what you want to do in this life. So
Good.
I have like 30 pages on each North Node sign that is very in depth.
You just see numbers all day as that's how you see the divinity.
Um, there are a lot of numbers in a numerology chart, so I look at the whole picture, the whole map, not just say life path. There's the person that, all the soul path and different aspects of the chart. I'm also very intuitive. I graduated from Psychic Horizon Center, so I have learned how to ground, to read auras, to read the chakras, to read the different layers. I incorporate some of that into my depends on how deep people want to go.
Yeah. Yeah. How much time they spend with you and
Right.
how much they're willing to put in the work themselves. No,
Yeah.
it's an interesting subject because, I feel like a lot of people in this life, they're lost without a meaning, and they say faith without actions is dead. And you're actually able to look at them and scientifically study their birth chart, their numbers and their aura and say, hey, and you could help lead them and guide them and direct them. Would you do spiritual counseling? Am I on the right subject there?
Yeah, I think that's part of the numerology reading itself is spiritually illuminating someone's path, but answering questions because people have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's part of the coaching is they'll say, well, how does that work? What is this? How does my personality and my soul path predict my my life path in general? So
For you personally, how did you dive into this kind of work? What was the story where you just adrift in the main script of society, and then you found this spiritual path?
it came naturally to me. I've always been good at math and I always loved numbers. Um, I fell into it like just like natural. I've been doing this for 40 years. So I was going to I think it was the Center for Spiritual Living in Boise, Idaho. Yeah, and that's when I was like, at my Saturn return. My first Saturn returns when my life changed. It was like, oh, I started looking at everything. I studied astrology, numerology, runes, all the oracles and different. I said, okay, what works for me? Numerology. It was like, nah. It was like, yeah,
Yeah.
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 It was just like, of course. And as I started studying it, I realized, hey, this is really accurate. This is not just some airy-fairy type thing. It's like we actually choose our name, right? Going like, and we choose when we're born, which gives us our life path. So the date you were born gives you your life path. And I looked at all of that and I went like, if this helps people and it works, and it's a tool, it's a map to help people discern and understand why they're here, where they came from, who am I? Big questions, right? Who am I? Where did I come from? Why am I here?
Yeah. Big questions.
So numerology answers that. It helps and I looked at everything and yeah, man, this stuff works.
And you talked about the age of the Yuga cycle. Am I pronouncing that right? Yuga?
Yoga, uh-huh.
And you've got some theories and philosophies behind that. Do you want to share with everybody?
Wow. Okay, so in a nutshell, so we came out of Kali Yuga the end of the 20th century, the beginning of the 21st century. About 1910 to 1930 was the shift into, it's called now Dwapara Yuga. So that is the precession of the equinoxes. That's the cosmological cycle of 25,000 years. So we were in a descending cycle. We're now in an ascending cycle. When you hear spiritual teachers talk about we're in an ascension now, that's what that means. That we are in a new yuga, which is an ascending cycle. It's a 25,000 year cycle.
Yeah.
We're at the beginning of it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're at the beginning of something, you have birth pains. So you struggle. You're like, okay, so the light and the dark are playing the game of who's in power, who's in control, who's going to run. We're shifting. So at the beginning of the 20th century, early 1900s, we had Ernest Holmes, Rudolf Steiner, Madame Blavatsky. Unity started. All these New Age spiritual paths started. So we're trying to figure out, humanity's going through a real shift right now. And it's like we're going like, okay, we're going into a new yuga cycle, which is a huge cosmological shift. And I think the story's still yet to be played to see what's going on.
Yeah, okay. It sounds like your divine mission is helping other light workers, figure out who they are, reading their auras, reading their chakras, and helping, get them on the path that we're all hopefully walking towards this light.
Right. It's a task that many are taking on. There's a lot more. You just think in the last 50 years, how many psychics, mediums, spiritual teachers, books on spiritual awakening, New Age, just in the last 30, 40, 50 years. It used to be like talking about auras or mediums or near-death experience was like
Taboo.
taboo. I mean, even 30 years, 40 years ago, it's like, oh, you're crazy, you know.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
But now it's sort of mainstream.
Right. Right. I agree.
You know.
I agree.
Everything New Age spiritual is becoming mainstream. Waldorf education's starting to become mainstream. Steiner was, you know, he was way ahead of his time. I was a Waldorf teacher, so, yeah, so there's this opportunity now for humanity to move into a higher level, the next level up step of a peaceful civilization where love rules instead of war.
Yeah. Amen.
We have no more wars, and we learn to love each other.
I love that.
It's it's a big calling, and it's totally happening. It's possible.
And for somebody that might need help with aligning their chakras and cleansing out their energy, how do you personally go about working with somebody to help them ascend towards this, you know, this new age of global peace?
Good question. The first thing is I go into sort of a trance where I see and ask where their energy is stuck. Is their energy stuck in the third chakra? What does the third chakra do? The third chakra has to do with will, personal power, getting motivated, being. So that's third, right? So each chakra has a purpose and meaning. So if they're stuck in a certain way, so right, it's like humanity at large has sort of been stuck in the lower 2-3 chakras over centuries and millennium, right?
Yep.
Security, power, money, control, ego. I mean, that's the lower 3 chakras. So I can help someone personally by looking and seeing which chakra or where their energy field is working and where it's not working.
And for your walk with the light, were you always a light worker when you were a kid? How did you come into this?
How did I come into this? Oh my gosh. Well, I knew when I was growing up I was different. I just felt different. I felt like, you know, I didn't really fit into the society's norm of, you know, of being a kid. I just was different.
Yeah.
I didn't fit in. It felt like, well, I knew more and I was in touch with more of where I came from, the spiritual world, than most people, you know, live in, I call spiritual amnesia, which is, you know, they forgot where I came from, who I am, why I'm here.
Yep.
But I can remember growing up in Christian Methodist church, feeling like people were hypocrites. They would profess to share love and love each other on Sunday, then their life during the week they would do just the opposite, which was kind of it was real challenging with the family I grew up with. It was challenging. It was like, okay, I have this ability. I probably not even from this planet. I just remembered, you know, past lives, and I remembered a lot.
Yeah.
Not, you know, we don't remember everything.
Sure.
But
Of course.
I just felt like I was meant to somehow like I said, at my first Saturn returns when everything changed.
Okay.
Age 29. That's your first Saturn return. And I started studying spiritual things. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how did that awakening feel? How did that Saturn return feel personally for you? What can you, share with people that they're on the right track, and then they're following in the love and the light, because I really like to talk about world peace, and I think once somebody's, fully aligned with themselves, that's how we start walking towards that. When we're chaos, when we're chaotic, when we don't know who we are, when we don't know where we're from, we can be led down almost any path. And I wanna touch in if you remember how that felt at 29 when your Saturn returned.
Yeah, I think I was in Idaho. I just started finding books and finding teachers and finding classes, finding groups that spoke and taught what I was already feeling, knowing, and believing
Yeah.
about our potential, our power, our spiritual home where we came from, our divinity, that that all there is love, and that finding groups that were sort of helping, guiding people. I mean, you think of teachers back then, like Wayne Dyer. There were a lot of teachers who were telling people how to live and manifest a fulfilling, powerful life.
Yep.
Right? And like, we're not victims.
Right.
You have the power, the ability, and the strength to fulfill. And if what you focus on expands. Where your attention goes, energy flows.
Yeah. It's almost your karmatic duty.
So yes, you have the obligation. Well, not obligation, but you have the ability.
Free will.
Free will. Yeah, free will's tied into it too. You can change your life, change your thinking, change your life.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so much of the New Age was, The Secret came out in different, books.
Yeah, sure.
But someone's like, but I'm not here to manifest Porsches, and I'm here to manifest world peace and love, and bring love to the planet, and have a life that's rewarding and joyous and fulfilling.
I love that. And you're talking about communities and groups, and I feel like, especially after COVID, we're missing a lot of that in our society. We're almost anti-community, or everybody thinks they're connected in their own way. And hey, we're here at Unity of Boulder, and I want to ask what you want to see. And you're talking about you've got experience running groups, and to me, I'm a young guy. I'm 33 years old. You've got this experience, this wisdom, this knowledge.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Okay, all right, that phone, we're gonna run it just like it is.
Okay. So building community, right? That's your questions on how, of course. I mean, we're in the age of technology, which is kind of separated people from community. A lot of people have their heads in their laptops and their iPhones. And I want to go back to building community, and which means common unity, which means okay, so there's a great quote by Carl Jung on loneliness. He said, loneliness is not about being by yourself and no people. You can feel alone in a group of 1,000 people. But he said loneliness has to do more with not having the ability to share what matters most to you. not having the ability or feel like you are seen, heard, valued, appreciated for who you are. We have to be able to express what matters to us. I mean, and what matters most to people is being seen, heard, valued, appreciated, accepted for who they are, needed, and their gifts having some purpose and meaning in life. And so that's what I want to build community around. I want to build community around a group of people who are consciously evolving, who are conscious in their attempts to share the beauty and the love of God and life and are actively participating, engaging in the community that they're in some form or another. Whether right. So engaging in whether it's downtown Boulder, whether it's going to events, whether it's sharing what you know about your, it's interesting. There's a statistic: 60% of humanity feels lonely, and loneliness is the number one concern of the majority of humans. Yet we live in a world designed for disconnection. So for me, I want to build connection in community somehow.
I love that.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm fully on board, and I'm counting on you to help show us younger generations the way, brother.
Well, I've been through a lot, so I've learned a lot. I've studied with a lot of teachers. I've led workshops. I had a meetup group for years, which I think I will restart. But I was teaching my spiritual awakening meetup group for like 4 years. I had 950 members. So, and I loved it. Before COVID, people were showing up.
Yeah.
It was we were on a roll.
Yeah. Yeah. And we get it back. How do people get in contact with you? How do they learn more about you and what you want to see out of the world? How do they get to be a part of that?
You can contact me through my text me, email me, even call me at my email.
Yeah, go ahead, share.
soulpathventures@gmail.com.
Soulpath
SOUL path PATH ventures VENTURES@gmail.com. Phone 720-585-5342 to text.
Daniel, I appreciate having you on the show, brother.
You bet.
I always like to give a peace sign, remind the world that peace is possible.
Absolutely. Go for it.
All right, cool. That was good.